Yeah. The screen. Good.
脚都没地方放。
Oh, same. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Oh, wait. So did you guys have class before this, or is this the first class of the day?
Second.
Second? What did you guys? Oh, second. Okay. All right. Oh, I can my flash drive this way. Here. Figure this out. Let's see first.
中午吃什么？
USB drive.
蛋挞。
There we go.
下午几点？4点上课。
6点。
好省钱。
I'll get this figured out. All right. The lights we can do in the back, but I don't want to do that yet because I want to meet all of you. So I want to get to know you, and what I'm going to do is write down a couple things too as I meet you, because this class we're going to learn a lot. It's a foundational class, meaning that the material we're going to cover is stuff that you probably, because you're all PTs, that you know some of this information, but it's a good review because what you're going to learn in this class, then you are going to apply to future classes, right, as you go forth. So what class did you have before this? Modalities. Who's teaching modalities? Ben Kivlin? Dr. Kivlin? Dr. Rowe, Dr. Martin. Yeah. Isn't he fun? Yeah. I love Dr. Martin. Okay, very cool. Well, hopefully I'm as fun, but you know, I'm not Dr. Martin. And then you have Dr. Kivlin, and then you have Dr. Kleba, right? Okay. I'm Dr. Davis, by the way. Nice to meet you. You can call me Jessica, though. It's fine. And this is Dr. Swan.
Yes.
Yes. So she's going to be helping me out. So you've got both of us. And so a little bit about my background. So I'm an orthopedic physical therapist. So I work in outpatient orthopedics. So that's my expertise. And I work part-time in a clinic that you probably are all going to visit this year, Tri-State Orthopedics. So I'll see you all in class, and I'll get to see if you've learned what I've taught you, which will be fun. And then, but I also own my own private practice. So I have a cash practice that I just started this year, and I teach for the Institute of Clinical Excellence. So I teach across the country. I'm doing primarily orthopedic classes. I also do performing arts class. So I also danced for 18 years, so I have a background in that. But I do love, like, orthopedics is my favorite topic. But this isn't an orthopedics class, which is okay. But the concepts that we're going to talk about in this class apply, because in an orthopedic clinic or wherever you practice, you may encounter and you have to know all of these concepts, right? So we're going to cover all those topics. But before I go even more about all that stuff, and we'll go into introducing ourselves later, Megan, you a pen? Perfect. I want you to, yes. I'm going to have you draw. So I want to go around the room, and what I want to know is your name, and I want to know what you want to learn out of this course. And the reason I want to know that is, yes, I have a syllabus this year, and yes, I have the topics that I'm required to cover, but if I can make this course something that you can get information that you really want out of it in addition to what I'm presenting, then that would be, I think, probably more applicable to you, right? So if there's something, you probably saw the syllabus already, I posted it. Anybody have trouble finding it? Was it okay? Did I do it right? Okay, good. Okay, and I see you have the lectures, I saw that. And I don't mind you having your computers, because I don't think, having to print out the material, so you can use your computers, but I would prefer, and out of just respect for the classroom, don't be on your cell phone, obviously. And so that's kind of a no-brainer to me, obviously. Yes, you would be taking phone calls in class, right? So let's go around the room and tell me your name, and I would also like to know your goals of the class, what you want to learn, and also I want to know a bit about you. So I want to know something personal, something about you as a human being, and I also want to know where you work currently or what your experience is in and your interests. Okay? Start. That's what happens when you're in front of the classroom. And will you guys be sitting in the same seats each time? Will this be like where you'll sit? Pretty much? You'll stay here? Like this will be your table and so forth? Maybe. Well, if you change it, let me know, because I'm going to create a sitting chart so it'll help me learn your names. Because I have your pictures, but it'll help me when I want to call on you in class and pick on you. I'm teasing. But when I want to ask a question, all right? Okay, let's start. Do you like anything?
My name is Yifan.
You can call me Yifan.
And I came from Sichuan province. It is Hongchao Panda.
Okay. Oh, the panda. Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
And I don't have many things too interesting, but sometimes I like reading some books, and I also always watch some series, and I just like to always stay alone.
Good. Okay, good. And what do you want to learn out of this course?
I'm not really know much about this course. I may think I will study, and then I will think about what I really want to learn more about it.
Good. So excellent. So there's, and I give you that because you really don't know what I'm going to be teaching much. So I get that. But if as we go along and I teach with you, I want this to be an interactive course. So I want you to feel free. It's very important to me that you have a conversation with me. So don't hesitate to talk to me. You can talk to me before class, after class, and even during. If you have a question, I like questions. I want you to raise your hand and ask me, okay? Because I want it to be interactive. Because I think when I've been a student, I find classes where I just sit there and it's the teacher lecturing the whole time. It's boring, right? Like, it's very boring. And it's not you don't learn as much. So if we have a conversation and you bring forth information and we can go back and forth, and all of you, chances are, have similar questions, so it'll be more interactive. So good. Okay, yes.
Hi guys. My name is Mei He. My name is too long, I know.
No, that's okay. So
you can call me Mihai or
Mihai.
Right.
Did I say that right? Mihai. Okay, I'll get better. All right, Mihai.
I'm from Xinjiang. I belong to the Sema sector. I'm from China, but I'm not Chinese. I'm Uyghur.
Yeah, I'm saying
Uyghur.
Oh, okay, very good.
And the most interesting part is orthopedics too. I really want to be a team doctor.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
And the goals of this class.
Yes.
I think I really want to try. I really want to learn how to build a good relationship with my patients or my clients.
Yes, build a good relationship. I like that. Good. Okay, you writing that down? Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. Because that is something that we'll be talking about. In fact, actually, we're going to go over it a little bit today. I'm very big on that patient-therapist interaction because, as we know, and I get on the soapbox, you're going to find that about me, but what that relationship we have with our patient is incredibly powerful. So if the patient believes that you're going to be the therapist that's going to help them, then if you look at the research, even current research coming out, that relationship has so much more power than even the treatment that you provide. So if you show that you care about your patient, the likelihood that you're going to get your patient better is astronomically better. Okay, so good. We'll go over that in detail. Yeah, yes.
Hello, my name is Zhang Hanyu.
Zhang Hanyu. Did I do that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
good pronunciation. You can call me Francis.
Francis, okay.
Yeah. And I graduate from Shanghai University of Sports. So I have a lot of patients are sporters.
So sporters.
Yes,
So they play sports.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I want to learn more how to contribute a good relationship with my sport patients.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
So and one of the things that you'll need to know in that is talking their language, right? So if you know what sport they play, right? Knowing the lingo that goes associated with that sport, so
Yes.
you can connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, very good. Yes.
Hello, teacher. My name is Zhang Chenji, and I like everyone just call me Chen.
Chen?
Yeah.
All right.
And I graduated from Fujian traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm from Fujian, and I get my undergraduate degree from this university, majoring in traditional Chinese medicine. Then I get my master's degree there, and majoring acupuncture and massage.
Yes.
And what I want to know in this class is that I want to know the relationship between each part of body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So pretty much.
So the relationship of the body. So define that
Each
for me.
part. Huh?
So
What?
tell me more about that.
As you know, some illness or pain maybe caused by other part of
Yes.
body. So I want to know origin of the
I like
illness.
that. So that makes sense with your background, being in acupuncture and the massage, right? And the traditional Chinese medicine, yes? Did I have that correct?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Tradition
Yes.
is
And you know what I'm learning? I'm gonna learn as much from you as you're gonna learn from me. And I totally can laugh at myself, so you can laugh, it's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
No, I want to make sure I got that. Okay, I think I got it. Because I want to meet your goals. That's okay. Good. Very, very good. Okay. Yes.
Hi, my name is Liu Zhou. You can call me Steven.
Steven.
Yes, and I'm just graduated from Shanghai University of Traditional Chinese Medicine.
Okay.
And, I love sports, so I'm interested in sports rehabilitation.
Excellent.
Yes. What I want to learn from this course is maybe when a patient comes to me and what should I think and how to find the question he didn't know or he just not finding it.
I like that. Good.
And I don't want to miss any maybe serious problems he didn't know. So
Okay. Good. So you want to learn how to think.
yes.
Yes, and get your patient to tell you what you want to hear, right? Very good. Because patients will often tell us their story, but when they tell us their story, they don't necessarily correlate that the foot pain that they have is in any way related to the back pain that they're having. So if we don't ask, they may never tell us about that, right? And then that would change our hypothesis list when we come up with what might be the problem at hand. And we're going to go into that. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
My name is Wang Yizhou. You can call me Penny.
Penny. Okay.
I'm a graduate from Shanghai Traditional Medicine, Shanghai University of Traditional Medicine.
Okay.
And I'm really curious about mental problem.
Ah.
Yes.
Yes.
Psychological.
Very, very good.
Yes.
And you know, that's becoming more and more in the current medicine, right?
Yeah.
So they're understanding that the psychosocial aspect of what we do, because we interact with human beings, that it's not just about, yes, this is your knee, right? No, it's the whole human being and it's their whole experience and what they're, so very good. Yeah, we'll go into that. Good. I'm big on that. Good. Okay. All right. Yes.
I'm Li Jiyu, and you can call me Oscar in English.
Oscar.
I graduated from Nanjing University of Chinese Medicine, and my major was acupuncture and massage. And after graduated, I worked
No, that's
pediatric
okay.
massage studio and worked as a massage therapist. And also, I worked with my teacher in a clinic and see how him or me treat patients. My major is massage, and after a lot of treatments, I found that there's something wrong with the diagnosis. And maybe I find some trouble, and I want to learn PT to help me to do some clear diagnosis and know more about the anatomy of people, such as tissues or something, because I think there are some connection between the anatomy and acupuncture lines.
Absolutely. See, I would love to learn more about acupuncture. I would love to know that. Yes.
Hi, my name is Zhang Shu. I'm from Shanghai University of Traditional Chinese Medicine. I'm very interested in kinesiology and skeletal muscular rehabilitation. And as usual, I'm very interested in sports, and I play basketball and maybe swimming and other biking also. So when I was a young boy, I often get hurt. So I think maybe kinesiology and in China, all over the world, it's a very important part of rehabilitation. So I'm really wanting to know the clinical thinking of the athletes. Maybe, yeah.
Good, very good. You guys are going to have to check out some sporting events while you're here, right?
And you can call me Kevin.
Kevin. Okay, I was going to ask because I thought I didn't hear it. Okay.
I was just going to ask.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and you can call me Liliana. I come from Dalian province, the west part of China, and I was the undergraduate in Shanghai University of Traditional Chinese Medicine. I'm primarily interested in cardiopulmonary problems, and I want to know in this class is how to communicate with my clients better, and how to find a good way to ask them to achieve our goals together.
Good, good. So the cardio, because you're going to have cardio palm later, I think next semester, right? I think cardio palm's next in the spring. Yeah. But we're going to go into some wound management, which applies a little bit with the cardio. But again, the communication, the talking to our patients, I love that.
And with cardio pulm, to touch base too, a lot of that's with geriatrics, and that's what I specialize in.
Yes.
I have a lot of nursing home experience and outpatient experience, so you do see a lot of cardiac issues in a lot of patients. And a lot of that is building the relationship for the patient to trust you. So So that's the biggest thing, is getting to know your patient, getting them to trust you to do the proper treatment.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Hi, my name is Anshul and call me English.
Yeah. Yes.
I also graduated from Shanghai University of Traditional Chinese.
You all graduated together? Mostly?
We all come from the SHRTC.
Okay.
And I love neurology, so I really want to be a neurological and physical therapist. And the goals of the things I want to learn from these courses, I want to learn how to set goals more reasonable and how to communicate with my patient. Don't let them just be lazy during the recovery.
Yes.
And I also want to know how to make the interprofessional collaborate more efficient.
Oh, very good. Good. So you're gonna like, because part of this course too is we cover a little bit of the spinal cord and the wheelchair management. That's part of our course. So you'll like that part. But again, yeah, communicating and figuring out. It's really interesting because as PTs, we often think, well, that we know what our patient wants because, you know, that would be common sense. But often what we think the patient wants isn't what the patient wants. So you could set your whole patient treatment up for our goals of what we think the patient, and they're sitting there like, this is what I wanted out of this, right? So we'll go into that. Very good. Yeah. Yes. Lucy. Okay.
I graduated from the University of Traditional Chinese Medicine, and before I come here, I clinical practice in hospital.
Okay.
Yes, and I want to learn about something about clinical medicine, stuff like how to choose therapy and what influence it dynamic. And I also interested in the therapy about the body office, what I have learned for several years, like the mentoring intense. So if I have opportunity, I would like to learn about something from this.
Very good. Okay. And you're gonna learn. You won't learn that so much from me. I mean, I know it, but you're gonna learn that in the orthopedic portion when we go over the spine. But you'll love that. And that's really good because when you have that personal experience and you can bring it to your patients, it makes a big difference because you get it. You get it from their experience. But very good. Okay. Yes.
My name is Shinton, and European combination or English name is
Which do you prefer? Which one do you want me to call you? Shin? Okay.
And I came from Shandong University of Traditional Medicine and medication. And I also have a teacher in China. We have applied and practiced for almost 5 years, but we do the research is not for the limbs or parts or muscle structure. We do this to pure inside there's like sickness or some heart disease or some maybe something more close to the nervous system.
Wow.
So I learned a lot of I used a lot of things with traditional Chinese theories. So I want to learn more about Western stuff
And then mix it.
and mix them and to do the better for our patients.
Good. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. So similar goals, kind of mixing what you've learned and then applying. Because see, I want to learn more of what you know, so I can do the same. Good. Yes.
Hi, my name is Shen. My English name is Nancy. I prefer you call me Nancy because it's like easy to be pronounced and remember.
Okay.
Yeah. My hometown is in Hangzhou, in Zhejiang province, with the places of interest called West Wing. But I'm graduated in Shanghai State University and got the bachelor's degree of rehabilitation center. Yeah, I finished my training in Shanghai Southern Rehabilitation Center, and I got a lot of experience in the hospitals and some polyclinics because I have been the intern in Shanghai First People's Hospital, Shanghai Fifth Rehabilitation Hospital, in a lot of departments such as the pediatric, the musculoskeletal, neuro, physio, and etc.
Wow.
And I am a little bit interested in studies in pulmonary rehabilitation, but I may become a PT mainly about the neurology in the future because I got my job in Shanghai First People's Hospital, and that's my major in the future. But in this course, I hope to learn some clinical reasoning about the therapy because as I've learned for these years, I find it's very different in different countries, such as the foreign countries to China to do the physical therapy because we may pay more attention to the manipulations to the patients and we may pay little attention to the communication and the clinical reasoning. We can do the diagnosis and got the main problems through the SIF and character scanning, etc. So I think I may pay more attention to it. And what's more, I want to know how to do some trials according to the daily therapy because we may have to write some essays on those and we need to go from days. So I just want to learn a little about how can we get the information about the thoughts through the daily therapy and we can design the randomized control trial and even use the trials to write the systematic review or analysis, etc. That's what I want to learn this semester.
Wow. That's incredibly wow. Great. Yeah. Well, we're gonna. So that's a lot. But that's great, and I think that's fantastic. So we're gonna go now. Well, I'll speak my mind later, but very, very good. Good to know because I will need that. Yes.
My name is Liu Hong. Particularly go by L and call me that.
Okay.
I am studying my doctorate degree in the Nanjing University of Chinese Medicine. My major of master degree and doctorate degree is the same, which is orthopedics and traumatology. So I have some experience of doing orthopedic research surgeries with my tutors, and I'm ready to knowledge about rehabilitation after orthopedic surgeries. So maybe I want to learn more about this in your class.
Great.
That's all.
Good. Very, very good. Yes. And on the research thing, I'm thinking about that. There's a lot there. Yeah, a lot of data gathering and getting, very good. Good. This is good. Okay. Yes.
My name is Pan Xue from Sure.
Sure.
Yes. I graduated in Shanghai University of Traditional Medicine. Yes. I have worked in hospital for 4 years. I interested in disease of spine.
Okay.
So I hope to learn more about it.
Do you see a lot of spine diseases in your practice?
Because in Shanghai, more and more people say too much, and they didn't work, but they didn't do sports.
Well, like in America, right? We're bad. Good. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, yes.
Hi, my name is Jia Sun, so you can call me Sun.
Sun.
Yes. So I graduated from the Shanghai University of Traditional Chinese Medicine 4 years ago.
Okay.
So I want to
Okay, I was gonna gather.
Yeah. So I want to review some foundational but really important concepts in this class, and I also want to learn some new skills or some knowledge can apply to my work or observation in the future. And actually, I'm very shy, so I want to learn how to communicate with others because it's very important for the clinical therapist.
Yes. You want to know something? I'm shy, which I probably don't come across that way, but I had to get out of my shell, so yes, it helps. I get that. Okay.
Hello, my name is Watson. You can call me Susie. And I'm from Hunan Province, which is the hometown of Chairman Mao. And I have been working on post-trauma recovery for about 2 years. So I'm really interested in the pelvic floor rehabilitation.
Yes.
And I also want to know how to get along well with the pregnant women and the postpartum women. They are really different from other patients.
Very much so. Yeah, and that's a really big upcoming field. I mean, even here in the States, and there's so much out there. So I don't believe we have a specific course on the pelvic floor, but in terms of at least with back pain, there's such an association with the pelvic floor and instability. And yes, dealing with the pregnant women is a totally different ballgame because you have all the lumbar instability and ligamentous laxity, and plus they have a lot of stress going on, many variables. So very good. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Hi, my name is Yati. Yeah, and my friends will turn around quick because I'm very shy. I also graduated from Central Chinese Medicine School, and I work in a hospital for about a year. And most of my patients are neuro patients.
A couple neurotherapists. Yeah.
But I'm really interested in orthopedic because there's a USC program in our hospital, and if I have a chance join that program, maybe I can be a fellow. So
Yes.
yeah.
Very good.
So I really
Excellent.
want to learn more about physics. And when I was in China, I heard about a theory, maybe not a theory, maybe it's just a thinking that if we adjust the pelvis alignment, maybe we can reduce the shoulder pain and decrease the ROM. I think maybe it's because of the distal and the dura, but I don't know more about it, so I'd love to learn more about it.
Excellent. Well, and I think the orthopedic section. I mean, in this curriculum is really strong. Well, all of it is. It's all. You guys have great professors. This is good. Okay, I like your goals. So one of the common themes I heard was the clinical reasoning piece, and fortunately, that's one of my favorite things to talk about. So as I went around the room, I'm thinking I have a whole lecture on that I haven't given you that I'm probably going to add. Yeah. So it'll surprise you, but it'll be good. So I'm going to change it up a little bit because I want to make sure, like I said, and I promise that this course is a combination of, yes, the information that is required that I instruct, that you learn, but also that I address some of your goals. And it's neat the variety that we have here with the different clinicians. So when we talk about something and it's of interest to you, or if it's something that you've been doing and it's your expertise, I really want to hear from you because I'd like to learn as much from you as you learn from us, right? So Megan, on to Megan. So introduce yourself and same questions for you, personal and your background, right?
Okay. Like Jessica said, I'm Dr. Megan Swan. I graduated from Duquesne in 1999. And then I got a doctorate degree at University of Utah. And so I've been practicing for about 18 years. And my main background is geriatrics, home health. I also have experience in the hospitals. And a lot of it is, it seems like everybody wants to build rapport with their patients. And I think that's the most important, is get the trust so that you can write the proper goals so that they can achieve their goals and go home safely. So this is my first class I'm teaching with Jessica, and we are colleagues, and so this is going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you guys get everything you out of the class, and I think you will.
How about something personal about you?
Personal. Personal. Let's see. I have a 5-year-old son, and he started kindergarten yesterday, so that was a big accomplishment. So no tears on either end, and he enjoyed it. So he's making new friends. So yeah, big jump in his life.
Awesome. So I am so excited that we have Megan with us because her background is completely different. Like, we're on two different spectrums. So I think it's going to be neat because obviously all of you have a broad experience, and then between our experiences, we'll be able to generate like some neat discussions and bring forth all of our different experiences. So she's, like she said, she's got a lot. Some of the topics we're going to go over, she's the expert, hands down. And then some of the topics I'll say, I deal more with, maybe
Right.
in my field.
Right.
So me personally, so I graduated with Megan. We were in class together back in 1999 from Duquesne. So this is where we went to school. So we're both Duquesne graduates, and obviously friends for a very long time, and took different paths, with our careers. I went and I got my doctorate at Chatham, and then I did my fellowship in manual therapy with evidence in motion. So I just finished that in 2017, which is where I learned a lot of the critical thinking, which is why I'm going to bring it to you. So I'm going to teach you some of the fellowship level critical thinking, because I think that would be kind of what you're all asking for. How to talk to your patients, how to get in their head a little bit and figure out what they want. And then I think that's, then I taught evidence in motion, and then I teach for evidence in motion too, I forgot that. So I'm teaching some of the spine courses for that, and I teach the cervical spine, lumbar spine, and the performing arts for the Institute of Clinical Excellence. And I have 3 kids. I have 2 boys, 15 and 12, and I have a stepdaughter who's 22, I have 2 dogs, a cat, and a lizard, and obviously an awesome husband. So, so that's about me. It's a crazy life, but it's fun. So yeah. All right, let's get going. This is good stuff. Okay, so now I have my lecture here. We're gonna go. This is syllabus day. So we'll go over the syllabus and what we're gonna expect out of this course. Yeah. That'll help me. Okay, let's see how I can control this. I think we can just do that. Yes. Okay, so this is foundational. Okay, so it really is about a foundation, right? So expert clinicians do the basics well, and I'll repeat that. Okay, it's very important that, yes, we're covering things that you probably have learned in the past, but the best clinicians that you ever come across are the ones that do the very basic, simple things extremely well, right? So if you start off your relationship with your patient with a good foundation, and you get all of your bases covered, then the rest is seamless, right? It just goes, I have to watch what I say because that doesn't make sense. Let me know if you don't know what I'm saying. We'll see. Anyway, I get a little talk. But the rest is easier if you get the foundations correct, right? So if you don't get all the information on day 1 and you don't have a strong foundation, then it becomes a little bit more of a rat race, like you're running around looking for the information. Okay, so the foundation. This is what our class is going to be about. The foundation. Okay, I can get a little quicker. Okay, so we already talked about your clinical experience. And I asked you your questions. I already did that. All right. So it's really important that you get a good relationship with your patients, right? Because they're coming from different backgrounds. And we work with all different ages, all different injuries, all different areas of life, and that's the beauty of what we do. And I have to commend all of you for doing this program because it takes a lot. I mean, coming here for a whole year and leaving, I'm sure your family and friends, and I mean, that's a big deal. So I know all of you are leaders in your field, so it's an honor for me to teach you. So I mean, as much as, I'm really happy you're here, and I hope that you go back and make a change and pursue your goals, because it's really cool that you took that. I mean, I think about that sometimes, about leaving for a whole year. It's a big deal. So we are gonna go over infection control because, it's an important topic because we need to protect our patients from spreading any illness, and we also need to protect ourselves because we may not know that there's something going on, but we will encounter a lot just by the nature of being in healthcare. We know that there's different diseases and things that we need to protect our patients from and protect ourselves from. So some of it, we're gonna have a section on infection control, and then we're going to go over some wheelchair management, selecting different wheelchairs and getting to be knowledgeable about how going back and forth in the wheelchair and things that you need to look for, and measuring it properly and all of that. And we'll have labs. So this class is also lab. So we're going to do a lecture, but also lab. So we'll have sections, and I put on the syllabus and I'll show you where we're going to be in a different classroom because it's just easier to have the right material there. And if the weather permits, I really want to go around campus when we do the wheelchairs. I think that'd be fun. But we never know in Pittsburgh because our weather's kind of, so we'll,
rain, snow, hot.
Yeah,
you never know.
I have visions of maybe we go around the building, so we'll see. Okay. And you have to be able to be proficient with the different populations that you see, and whether it's in athletics or you're dealing with an amputee, you need to know their language, you need to know their goals, you need to know what they want out of their experience with you. It's not about us. And for a patient, when they come to see you, if you address it and you make it about them, their experience is 100% better, right? So, and one of the things I like to say too is when you select a technique, so when a patient comes to you and they need something to be done for them that you can provide, if it's a skill you don't feel comfortable with, and you select what you always feel comfortable with and you do what you like to do because you're comfortable with it, then we're doing a disservice to our patient. We're not helping them, right? So it's our job to become proficient in whatever we feel uncomfortable with, right? So if you feel like, this is something that I don't really like to do, I don't really like seeing these patients, but they come to you, guess what? You need to get good at it, right? Because our job is to be that good. And it's not about us, it's about we're making a change. We're making a change for them. We're making their world better. So it's good to get out of your comfort zone. And okay, class rules. So we're starting at 11, obviously, and you know that. And it helps if you speak English. If you speak Chinese, I won't understand it. So I'm gonna try to learn, but and I would love to learn actually. But you guys can teach me some words, stuff like that. But but when we interact and when we're having like patient discussions, it's good to practice, I think, speaking about the patient case in English and just get, you know, and that way I can come around and help you. Because if you're speaking in Chinese, I won't be able to interject and say, hey, what were you thinking in that moment? Because I will want to pry and ask. And then, yeah, of course you're going to show me respect. This is just, okay, so we're going to go over the syllabus. I'm going to pull up the syllabus here. I have that in a different file. Let's see if I can get out of this. Do you guys have a copy of your syllabus?
Yes.
Good. All right. I'm not going to read it, but I have found over time that it helps if I go over it, you know, a little bit. So I talked to you about what this course is about. And yes, we're going to go over the infection control, wound prevention, body mechanics, right? So how do you lift a patient? How do you do a different technique? So in fellowship, with my fellowship, it was huge. I would fail a case if I didn't have my proper body mechanics doing the technique. And it was because where my feet are and what I do affects the force that I apply, but it also protects me, right? So we want to practice for a long time, and if we have an injury, then we're not doing anybody any good. So we will go over body mechanics, and we'll be picky about that. Megan,
and that's very, very important in a hospital or in a nursing home. A lot of the elderly, they're more, you know, they don't get around, they don't exercise that much, so they're a little bit heavier. So it's very important to use proper body mechanics when you transfer them. If you don't feel comfortable doing it just one person, you gotta ask for help. I've seen multiple cases where therapists get hurt because they think, oh, I can do it by myself, and then they end up getting hurt. So you don't want the patient to get hurt, and you don't want to get hurt. So don't be afraid to ask for help.
We're gonna do lab with that, and we'll get crazy, and we'll come up with some fun situations that you guys will have to be challenged.
You guys are talking about like neuromuscular stuff. I mean, CVA patients that had a stroke. Very, very common. They don't know what's going on with their body. They can't control it. So you have to be careful with them and yourself on how to transfer them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that. And then we do have a wheelchair selection. And we're going to talk about, you know, functional training and going over goals. And we will go over gait, because gait is fun, right? How somebody walks and what you can see and pick up. I have some fun things to teach you about that, actually, that I learned over the years. So this is me. So, and this is my phone number. It's my cell phone. So I want you to feel comfortable. If you want to reach out, you can send me a text. You can call me. And then this is my email. So either way you want to communicate during class. If you ever have a question, you know, feel free to reach out to me. I will do my very best to get back to you timely, but I do have a crazy, insane life and kids that I'm driving back and forth to hockey and wherever else we're going. So if I don't get back right away, don't, but I will. Yes. Books. Did you guys get books? I brought these to show you. These are the books that were recommended that we are going to be, there's reading from these that are on your syllabus. So there's 2 textbooks. So there's this big heavy book that it's heavy. This one's the Pearson, this is like that notebook one. So this is the Fairchild one. There was reading in this one for class today. Did you guys, who did the reading? Yeah. Good, I did too. All right, so, but this is Megan's copy. But anyway, so this is the book that we'll reference here, right, the Fairchild Principles. And then this one is the O'Sullivan. This is a great book. It's heavy, but it has a lot of really good information in it. And it'll be a nice reference. So I wanted you guys to have a reference to take home, you know, so that you can look back and forth and if you have questions in addition to what we go over in class, right? So these are our 2 textbooks. And then, yeah, we were going to go till 1 o'clock every day. So if you guys will break after a certain period, and like, because I know it's right during lunch, so if you get hungry, like, you know, we'll take a break. I won't lecture for 2 full hours and without giving you guys a moment to breathe. So I know how that is, or you can go to the bathroom. Okay, so let's go down here. So these are the goals that I want, right? That you're going to be able to do all of these things. And yes, we have tests. So there are tests in this class. Everybody gets nervous about those. So here's all of our goals here. And again, I'm going to have you read all of them. I'm not going to sit here and read these to you. I think that you're able to read them. And if you have questions about what we're covering, this is all the stuff we're covering in class. So there will be, all of the exams are going to be written, so they're just going to be multiple choice. So that's kind of nice that I'm not going to make you do short essays. But if you miss an exam, then the makeup will have to be some type of short answer essay. So try not to miss an exam. All right? But my experience is you guys won't miss. I hope you don't. But each grade, each exam is worth 20% of your grade. If it were a perfect world for me, I would love to do lab and test you on the skills that we're going to learn. Because for me, I feel that motor learning, showing that you indeed do a transfer properly, is just as important. So that will come into the class participation part of the grade. I want to see, when I look around the room, that you're all doing it right. Okay, so I want to make sure that you are applying it, because again, you're not going to have me hounding on you when you go home, but I want to be in your mind with me yelling at you saying, you gotta do this right. So I want this class to be interactive. I really want you to feel comfortable just like raise your hand, asking me a question. I don't take offense to that. I like it. So that's something that I look for. I want discussion. I don't want you to sit there and just let me blah, 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 because how boring is that, right? It's not going to be a good class.
That if we say a word that you guys don't understand, we have lingo that you guys don't understand. Feel free to be like, can you repeat that or explain that more?
Yes, don't, because if I say a weird word, that's the worst. I had a professor like the whole semester, and she said something and I didn't know what it was, and it was squared, like the square root, and the whole time it was skidid. I had no idea what that was, and knowing if something's a square root is kind of important, right? No idea. So if I say something and you think, just raise your hand and ask me to say, can you clarify that? I have no idea what you're talking about. That's fine. So please feel comfortable with that. Okay, so the exams are cumulative, meaning that what we have, our test on the first test, the second test will include some of what was on the first. So because at the end of the year, or end of semester with me, I want to make sure that you remember what we talked about in the beginning of class. So there will be some scattered questions in there from the beginning, okay? I'm not gonna let you forget. I know. But just remember that, right? Because this is real world stuff. Like this stuff is that important, right? Because you don't want to hurt someone someday. You don't want to. It's a horrible feeling, and you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to get an infection because you forgot something that you learned here, right? I mean, it's that important. That's why it's cumulative. Okay. Because I used to be a pretty decent test taker, and then I would forget what the heck I took. You know, it's like I could get a good grade on this and forget the information. But it's not good. It doesn't apply. Okay. So the grades will be the questions are going to be. I think it's all multiple choice actually. Yeah. But the short answer would be for a makeup if you had a makeup exam. So I don't want you missing class. So you are not allowed to miss class. You have to come. If there's some accentuating circumstance where you're sick and you're throwing up, or I don't really want to, that around. I don't want to get sick either. But contact me. It's got to be. You have to have an excuse for me, and it has to be a legitimate excuse. But I really want you to come because I hope this experience is good for you and you learn from this course. So yeah, I know I keep going back and forth. I am clumsy, so I'll probably trip and fall. Okay. You can't take an exam again to change your grade. So whatever grade you get is the grade you get. You don't do repeats. So it's one shot. Now we have multiple, there's many chances. So if you look, we have 4. You have 3 exams, and then we have a final. Okay, and then you have another 20% that's your participation that goes towards your grade too. So, right? So as long as you don't sit there and not have any kind of conversation, you'll be good with that. And then the rest is, you can read over the rest of the syllabus in terms of all of those things. And, I don't think any of you would cheat, but that's obviously something that's not tolerated at the university. So any kind of academic dishonesty, right? So don't do that. I don't want to deal with that. And the recording, you can record, if like we're going over a technique or something, you can record it. I don't mind you taking your phone and like recording whatever video or whatever. But what they do ask is that you don't post it. Like you don't post it onto some social media, or like if you want to keep it at home so that you have like a reference of how did she show this technique, you know, you'll get a sense of that, right? And I think that would be helpful to have those videos to take home so that you can remember, because there's a lot that we're going to go over. So feel free. I don't mind that. Okay, yeah, I really don't mind. Okay, and then, yes, don't use Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that when you're in class with me. I mean, it's kind of common sense, but it has to be written here, so.
Social media.
Yeah. So if you look at the syllabus, so this FP is this book here, right? There, child. That's what this is referencing. And then if it's abbreviated O and S, it's this book here. Okay? All right. And then, so this is kind of how the course is going to flow. Like the first couple classes are lecture. So we're going to go over patient-client management. We're going to go over, also, we'll get into infection in September, and we'll go into wounds. This is her world. So we're going to be learning. And Megan, I mean, the cool part is, I mean, this is what she's done in her practice. So what I'm hoping and what she's going to do, she's going to bring some like current stuff, like the most up-to-date, you know, stuff to you, right? The most current research-based stuff. There's a lot of lectures on wound, so get ready for that. Then we get into body mechanics, where you're going to get up and be active, and we're going to go and have labs, and we're going to make sure that you're doing stuff properly and transferring. Then we'll go into some goal setting and some functional training, where we do better than that. And so if you look at the left, if you see, I tried to make it obvious. If it's bolded, then that's when we're not here in this classroom. We're going to be over at Fisher. So if you show up and nobody comes, chances are we're over there. Right? Just double check. Yes. And I don't think there'll be any conflicts with us being in this room, but if for some reason there was a conflict and they said, oh, the room's not available, I've already prearranged that it is, but if there's something that comes up, I'll let you know. So if you don't hear from me, just assume that we're in the class where I said we would be. Okay? And you have my phone if you had to call me, right? There's a question. Okay. We don't have class. We do get a nice break. So we have All Saints Day off, so you won't have class that day. And we don't have class for the week of Thanksgiving, so that's off. So you have some days where you get to explore and have fun. But look at this, though. Pretty shortly after Thanksgiving, we only have like a lecture, then you have another exam. Sorry, guys. Yes. So that I feel bad that you have to do a little studying over Thanksgiving. And then if you look at that, there's really only 3 lectures, and then we have the final. So those so it starts off a lot of lecture, and we have a few exams, but towards the end it really gets fast-paced. Okay, so just be prepared for that, like, you know, as you're going along. We don't really have any projects or anything that we're going to do, so you don't have to write any papers for me.
This audio is made with Audio Toolkit for Windows Store, downloaded for free now.